All right. Well, hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ghost Dragon for Ghost Dragon Gaming. I am welcomed by Will or Black Oni.
Yo, what's going on?
Thank you for joining me, Will. So you're kind of like a up and coming Twitch gamer. I mean, you way more than me. You got probably like I think it was like 1,500 followers.
Roughly. Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, so I mean you're up there, and then I think it was like close to 800 subscribers on YouTube. So it's thanks for
Oh,
taking your
it's
okay.
on YouTube. It's about it's almost 1,500. Let me
Oh
double
geez,
check.
oh, I think I had that mixed up, but yeah, I mean
Yeah,
you're quite up there, and thanks for taking your time to speak with me. I know you're probably busy. Um, right now,
1,600. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, I took a look at that the other day. I took a look at your last video too. I think you were kind of streaming on the election day.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was streaming on election day, doing something to distract me from it, essentially. During
Yeah.
the beginning process of putting together the Gohan illustration I was working on.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, freaking! I noticed on your Twitch, you're a graphic designer, and you're a
hmm
streamer, and I mean, it's pretty talented dude. Do you also do
Thank you,
like
man.
music or anything?
No music. I mean, I sing while I stream sometimes, but it's not
Oh,
real music. It's
oh,
just
that's
me
funny.
kind of dicking around.
All right,
I can say consent, right? We're allowed to swear a little bit.
I remember like the first time I saw you, like I was just kind of digging around Twitch, and you were streaming. I think Witcher 3, and you were in like a Pikachu outfit.
Yeah, I'm wearing that right now, actually.
Oh, okay, right on. That's funny.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's
great.
just like it's cool, like just seeing streamers like that instead of just being in the usual norm kind of setup. I mean, that's kind of what brought my attention to you, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. Keep it a fun day.
So, is that one of your like favorite genres, like RPGs?
Get to the main server,
Yeah, for
collect the
sure.
data, and get out. No
RPGs are a really
detours.
big part of my
Copy that,
gaming
Central.
history, and I'm really happy to see the genre continuing to evolve. So yeah, The Witcher 3 is one of my all-time favorite games for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to get into it too. It's just freaking man, it takes so long.
It does. It takes a while to really. I mean, it doesn't take too long to get started and get the action going, but it takes long to get through the whole game. Especially if you're a completionist, for example, it'll take you forever.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I'm not a completionist at all. Do you complete games at like 100%?
I try to. Now that I've been streaming and doing this YouTube thing, it's a little harder to do that now because like I have to get to other games as well.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. So it's just
hmm
you kind of gotta have a balance of like what videos to make, and like if you like, really want to dedicate this much time to one game, it's like
Right.
yeah.
It can be a little
So
tricky sometimes.
yeah, yeah. So what kind of like got you like into gaming and stuff?
The thing that really got me into gaming as soon as I really started things going, my dad brought home a Sega Genesis to my mom's place at some point, and that was my first console, and I played Sonic the Hedgehog on that. And that was pretty much like the first. I think it might have been Sonic 2, the first game I ever played, really. Aside from maybe something at an arcade or smaller games outside of that. But that's when it all kind of started for me, and then from there I just started exploring different games, and me, my brothers and sisters would play stuff together, like Mortal Kombat. We were really young, so we probably shouldn't have played Mortal Kombat, but we did.
Yeah,
And Street Fighter played. We played Sonic for sure. Played like Streets of Rage. Played all types of games. So um, that's how it really began, and then evolved from there.
All right. So I'm assuming you're kind of like similar age to me and my brother. My brother's like kind of 34. I'm like 27.
So I'm 28.
Oh, okay. Hey, just like right, we're pretty much grew up in the same kind of generation of games, with
Yeah,
like
for
Super
sure.
Nintendo and Sega, uh, Genesis. Um, I remember growing up as well. It's like me and my brother used to play Super Nintendo, and it was just funny because his name is Mario. So it's like I was like, oh man, I was
Okay.
like surprised I wasn't like named Luigi, but
Yeah, right. Good
um,
old time.
uh, so. Oh, but by the way, to anyone that is watching, anyone that is like maybe possibly confused or something, I'm doing just a quick interview. He's playing Tomb Raider at the moment. I'm doing Invisible Ink. We're just playing separate games right now, but we'll probably maybe have time to get to something else in the future. We haven't planned anything yet, so. But
hmm
I'm gonna continue on Invisible Ink here. I'm gonna start the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, Will, you want maybe you want to tell me a little bit about the Tomb Raider? Like, how is it different? How is it different than the first one?
Um, so in a general sense, it's not that different than the first one. You know, you're still using a bow and arrow as one of your primary weapons. You still have like the rope arrows that you do in the first one.
Yeah,
Um, but what they did was basically allow Laura's skill set to expand upon what was already done in the first game, which I think makes sense. So you have different abilities for your bow and arrow for traversal. You have different abilities for your ice picks for traversal as well. So I think in the first one you only had one, but in this one you get access to two ice picks once you upgrade over time, and you can use those in combat as well.
huh,
What else?
huh,
There's a lot more, outfits or customized outfits that are in the game. That some of them give you bonuses, like stat bonuses. Some of them give you, some of them just look different. Some of them are actually like retro costumes, so you'll look like your pixelated Lara Croft from like the first Tomb Raider. Um, you have a ton more tombs in this game, different environments to explore, and
yeah,
a host of different enemies to go after as well. I mean, it takes place in a different setting. The story, of course, is expanding on the first one, and you know, obviously the visuals are breathtaking. Like, it's definitely one of the strongest things about the game. But they just added on everything that they did in the first Tomb Raider reboot, and they did this really well. So I'm really happy with it. They
yeah,
added some extra modes. They added like a survival mode that's also co-op. It's pretty crazy.
huh. Man, that sounds pretty awesome. Yeah, I beat the first one, so I was just wondering like the differences. This sounds like something I'll definitely pick up in the future. That kind of brought up like another subject. Have you ever played the Turok games?
I never actually played them. No.
Oh, um, well, it was just like kind of like a first person shooter, and it was like you were like this Native American, and I don't know, he was dragged through time, and he was like fighting dinosaurs. It sounds crazy, but it was a pretty fun game. They tried to reboot it, maybe 10 years later, and it, kind of failed. It didn't really do so good. Um,
Yeah.
so it's kind of nice when nostalgic games that you really enjoyed in the past come back and do like really well, because then
hmm
future people could enjoy them. It's pretty just like Tomb Raider. It was a perfect example.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those scenarios where they rebooted it and brought it back. I mean, they tried so many times to make really good Tomb Raider games, and I got to give them credit for trying when they did, and so much. It was great that they did, but it's also a testament to how long it really took them to nail it, to get it right, and they finally did.
Yeah. Have you have you ever played like the old ones?
Yeah, I played some of the old ones, but not all of them.
Oh, okay.
hmm
Yeah, I mean, obviously the graphics are always going to improve, but it's
hmm
the gameplay and the story probably has to be the ones that come out the best.
Right.
So you looking forward to any like future games maybe coming out in like 2017 or?
Yeah, sure. I'm really looking forward to Neo. I think that's the big game that I'm looking forward to the
Huh.
most, aside from Horizon Zero Dawn. So those two games are really high on my priority list.
Oh, okay.
And I
I
actually have a video going up tomorrow about Neo and the reasons why I'm excited for it. But I could talk about that for days.
Oh, okay. Man, I'm gonna have to look that up. I haven't even heard about that game. Huh.
Yeah, it's very it's it's got like a little bit of a similarity to Ninja Gaiden,
Oh
to
yeah.
Onimusha, and to the Souls games. So Dark Souls 3.
Yeah.
This is a more notable iteration, but
That's right. Yeah, now I remember. I did see a little bit of gameplay of that. Man, that does look
hmm
good.
yeah, I'm really excited for it. What about you?
Oh, I am definitely looking forward to Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh yeah,
Man, that game just looks amazing. Just a little teaser that we got. Man, it's just like the graphics look just, just I don't know, 6, 7 times better. I mean, they've been working on it for 5, 6 years, so it should be.
yeah. I'm really
Um,
looking forward to that game too. I adored Red Dead Redemption 2. Sorry, Red Dead Redemption, the first one. And I played Red Dead Revolver as well, and I enjoyed that.
yeah, speaking of that, I actually just picked up Red Dead Revolver on sale just a little bit ago. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm gonna maybe see if I can do like a stream or a video on that. But um,
Yeah, you should.
huh?
I might have
Oh
seen
yeah,
a minor episode of it.
I was wondering when are they gonna come out with the next great video game or movie or yeah, when are they gonna
Um,
do that? Man, it's like just keep letting us down.
yeah, I don't know if it's gonna happen. I mean,
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed is supposedly gonna be a thing, but
Yep.
I'm not really reading into that too much. I don't think it's gonna be that great.
Yeah, I mean the trailers look pretty decent. I'm kind of crossing my fingers, but I mean we've been let down plenty of times before, so
Oh yeah,
we're kind of a
I
little
think
bitter.
yeah, yeah, I am too, and I don't watch trailers for movies anymore as much as I can, mainly because oftentimes trailers will give away either something significant or they'll show you some of the best scenes from the movie. By the time you go see the movie, you've already seen the scenes that were like highlights of the movie. And like, I get it, I get why they do it. They want to get you to the movie if you aren't already sold on it. But most of the movies I see nowadays are already movies that I'm planning to see.
Yeah.
So I just don't watch the trailers.
Hey man, so, sorry we got disconnected a little bit. Sorry about that, everyone. So we're back now.
hmm
Oh man, you were saying something really deep, like deep
Yeah, I
thought right
totally
there.
forgot what I was
Oh,
saying.
it's all right. So wasn't that
Yeah.
deep. It's okay.
Yeah,
Um,
apparently not.
um, but playing a little Invisible Ink. Sorry about the terrible gameplay. Just kind of focusing on the interview right now. I'm sure your gameplay is much better. Um,
Maybe.
he's playing a little bit of Tomb Raider. I'm interviewing Will, or otherwise known as Black Oni. Please follow him on Twitter and Twitch, and subscribe on YouTube. I will put links in the description below.
hmm Yeah, most of that stuff is just if you go to blackoni.com, you'll find links to pretty much all that stuff. I think I need to update the Twitter link because I used to have Black Oni 6, but now it's Black Oni. The person who had Black Oni changed their branding around, so they're not using it anymore.
Oh, okay. It's,
Yeah, so
it's good for you.
yeah, it totally is.
So I was wondering what what's what's your favorite genre? I know your RPGs are probably up there, but what's if that's first? What would be second?
Um, I think action games, aside from just like regular RPG, are my second, and then if it's an action RPG, that's even better.
Oh yeah. So,
And go ahead.
I was just saying you were playing Blood Souls the other day, and then Witcher. Those are obviously good, perfect examples. I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those are pretty much what I think of when I think of action adventure. I'm sorry, not action, action RPG. Games also like Fallout as well. Those are definitely up there as some of my favorite games. Final Fantasy 15 is taking on the taking the tradition of turn-based and not really going with that. They're going with a more action-oriented game. So I'm really excited about Final Fantasy 15 releasing the end of this month.
Right. I I played a little bit of the demo. It definitely looks like they're changing a lot, and it's getting me a little excited because that's not really my. I don't really enjoy maybe turn-based RPGs so much. So
Right.
yeah, that's definitely good. Is that kind of how you felt as well? You weren't into the turn-based RPGs?
I was into the turn-based
Oh, okay.
RPGs up until the action RPG started getting really good. And
Y-
I was like, you know what? I think I like this.
Yeah, it's my brother. He's always been into like all of like Final Fantasy. He's 100%ed Final Fantasy 7. So were you kind of like the same way? Or is that
I actually, I pretty much 100% in Final Fantasy 10, but not 15. Sorry, not 7, because I didn't actually play Final Fantasy 7. Ironically enough, a lot of people will like crucify me for that, but I never played Final Fantasy 7, and I figured by the
yeah,
time I was ready to actually play it, uh, Sony had shown off that tech demo of Final Fantasy 7 remake, and I was like, well, I'll just play that, and it just didn't come, but it's finally coming at some point, which is great. But yeah, I still never played it.
oh man, that reminded me too of that demo. Actually, now I remember, it looked pretty good. It looked like Final Fantasy 15. It's like the same similar engine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, that game does look good. Have you ever
Yeah,
seen Advent Children, Final Fantasy the movie?
I I did.
Oh, okay. It looks really similar, man. It's
Yeah,
almost
just the
like
way
the
they were doing
movie.
the visuals is pretty crazy. Yeah, very impressive.
Yeah, I couldn't even imagine how many hours that took. Just for what, like an hour and a half movie, maybe.
Oh yeah, so much.
You're kind of a graphic designer, and you draw a lot, so you know how long that takes.
Yeah, it takes longer than most people would assume it does, and it's definitely one of those things where you don't really realize it until you're actually doing it or doing something similar to it, like how much work goes into it. And there's always ways that software developers find to make their software more efficient and able to do things in a better way, but at the end of the day, it still requires someone to do the modeling and concept design, making the decisions around what to do in the actual visual department, and of course it's the whole story, the writing itself. They have to figure all that stuff out. So um, everything together just takes an obscenely long time, but there's some really great minds behind a lot of this stuff, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was attempting to create some thumbnails for my channel, and it took me like pretty much all night last night to do just a
Hmm.
few. I mean, five or so, but
Yeah,
I've just started, so got
yeah,
a little credit.
yeah. The once you get down a template, it'll get a lot easier to do them more quickly. But you have to figure out what you want them to generally look like, and then move on from there.
Like reviews and stuff. Like, what's the latest review that you did on your channel?
Mm, the latest raw review.
Sorry, I'm kind of asking you on the spot there. So,
No, that's fine. I actually just need to look myself to see when the last review was. Um, I haven't been doing as many reviews on the channel as I'd like.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me just take a look at my my archive real quick to see what the last review was.
Because that always interests me, like when. Yeah, yeah, those are always pretty cool. Just kind of hanging out and discussing. I was wondering, the reviews are kind of interesting on YouTube because there's so many reviews out there and like so many great opinions and so many great like different videos. It's kind of hard to like distinguish yourself, you know, from the crowd a little bit. So it's great like to do like short reviews because then you get your point out there. But then I don't know, just long reviews just don't seem like they're very effective. Is that what do you think?
So the question was, what were ways to make reviews the most effective?
I guess I don't know. It's kind of a weird question. I apologize. Well, with like how many reviews out there and stuff like that, how do you feel? What kind of reviews would you want to see? Like, would you rather see reviews like how you're doing, like 1 minute reviews and just like straight to the point, what's good and bad? Or like maybe like to get in depth and like get into the really fine details of it and maybe take like 15-20 minutes?
Well, in terms of length, I think the ideal length for a review is somewhere between 5 and 7 minutes for me.
Yeah.
Mainly because I want to kind of get a snapshot of the different aspects of the game, um, and details about it, not just snapshot, but like details about it, but not to the point where we're getting too technical about certain things. So there are some YouTubers out there. No discredit to them. I actually enjoy watching some of their content quite a bit. So someone like Total Biscuit, he'll go, WTF is, and then the game, and that's basically his review of the game. And many of those are anywhere upwards to 20 to 35 minutes sometimes, and that's a little too long for me. But again, like I really enjoy watching his content, so it's not anything against him. um, I I like the aspect of different types of reviews. So usually if I'm deciding on whether or not I want to buy a game, I usually don't only look at one review or listen to one review. I watch a bunch of different things, and the different types of opinions that you hear, or some of the things that you're hearing a lot about a game. Like if something has bad voice acting, you hear one person say it, then you hear another person say it, and then you hear like dozens of people saying it, then it's very likely that the game doesn't have very good voice acting. So but in terms of things that can make one YouTuber or one reviewer stand out from the other, um, a lot of that comes down to the personality of the person who's reviewing it. If they have kind of an energy or enthusiasm about them that people can catch up on or catch on to, and they'll see like, hey, this person not only knows what they're talking about, but they love what they do. People can tell. I think those are things to definitely keep in mind. And when it comes to anything else, like some people, like Angry Joe, for example, I'll use him as an example. He likes to do like a lot of props and a lot of like, you know, like silly acting in his reviews, and that's something that makes his content unique in the sense because most other people don't really even bother sometimes to put the examples of the type of gameplay they're looking to put in there. um, and so that's definitely something that people can do, or you can do in that sense if you want to kind of differentiate yourself from the other group, is to think about ways you can bring your own creativity into the experience. What else?
Yeah, that's it's kind of like a great point. Like I definitely enjoy like Angry Joe's reviews as well. I mean, I love like the props and stuff and the satire he uses, and I haven't really watched Total Biscuits stuff too much, but I know he's really popular on Steam and
Yeah.
stuff like that. I know he did do a review on like Homeworld, which was pretty awesome RTS strategy. But yeah, I mean you're right. I mean it's kind of gotta just find your own thing and just see what works for you and what length of time works for you. I may totally agree. Just real quick, I was just wondering, just something I was thinking about. So, what best superhero game out ever?
Batman Arkham City, hands down.
Arkham City. Hey, this is pretty good when I got that. Hey, that's the only game I ever pre-ordered.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's an amazing game. Amazing game.
Yeah. Well, so I gotta ask you, since you said, what do you think about Batman Arkham Knight?
The game could have been better. It's not a bad game by any means, I don't think, but I think they dropped the ball in a number of areas. I think the story was incredibly well told up until a certain point. The Batmobile segments there was just too much of it, entirely too much of it.
Yeah.
I think the game could have actually used some co-op, because there were many segments and sequences where it was basically there, but it's just controlled by AI. I don't want to ruin anything or spoil anything for people who didn't play through it yet, but Batman's insistence on doing things alone was kind of annoying as well. And the boss battles were really lackluster. They were really bad.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. I have the game and I haven't even completed it, and I'm a pretty big Batman fan.
Me too.
I tried to even 100% Arkham City, but this one is just kind of just lacking in, I don't know, just kind of that great feeling of just being Batman, like when you got on Arkham City. I feel like they could have added like an underground or something, like, and where you could have explored the sewers, and maybe Killer Croc would have been there, and he would have been some random variable in your gameplay in the sewers or something. That would have been pretty amazing. And the co-op, like you said, I totally agree. It seems like it could have been there. So, yeah, and then also I feel like the Batmobile is just a little bit too tanky. Kind of should have made it a little more functional than just flat out destroying everything. Maybe put it into the detective mode a little bit more. I think they did a tiny bit, but not so much.
Yeah, it was yeah.
So yeah, I'm right there with you. I know we're probably getting close to time, so I don't want to keep you too long. I know you probably want to just chill out, and it's Sunday. Got to relax, get ready for the week.
It's almost. Yeah, I gotta go to work tomorrow, which blows, but that's just life.
Yep, me too. All right, well, I won't keep you too much longer here. I'm gonna end it. So this is Black Oni. I'm interviewing him. Please follow him on Twitch and Twitter. I'm gonna leave a description of his channel below. Thanks, guys, and this is Ghost Dragon. Willie, do you want to say a little something?
Yeah, make sure you guys go follow this dude, check out his content, see what kind of things are on his channel, and keep being wonderful, beautiful people. Treat each other well, etc., all that good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. All right, man. Well, thanks so much for joining me, and hope you have a good night, and everyone else.
Same to you.
All right, later.
Later.